In most parts of the country, you, me or anyone can open up a salon. You don't need qualifications to practice, and I can tell you there's some shocking work out there. I can't believe someone's actually done this to you.
It's just here.
That looks so painful. I'd be so angry.
These were days after. There's quite some really bad ones.
And I've fallen foul too. A few years ago, I had some lip fillers and ended up with 2 small hard lumps right in the middle of my lips. Attractive. Now I'm investigating beauty disasters to try and discover what went wrong. This week, a trip to a nail bar turns nasty.
It was like a burning sensation. I said to him, ow, because it hurted. Rather than go in like this to open your can, I've got to go like that.
Proof that splashing the cash doesn't always guarantee quality treatment. I didn't think they were going to be this bad.
I thought I've been burnt, and I've been burnt really badly.
And I check out everyday tools of the trade that can end in tears.
Look how that's shaving through the skin.
It went green, black, purple.
All the colours of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Getting your nails done is a fast and cheap way to get a glam new look. And with new nail bars opening up on a high street every month, the options are endless. Business has boomed with over 17,000 nail technicians working here. But a spot of buffing and a splash of polish comes with a risk. As West Country girl Laura Penny found out.
I said to him, ow, because it hurted. And he obviously was sort of like, didn't understand me. I was like, that hurts.
Spa Tan Bath is home to 22-year-old family girl Laura.
Even though she's, a grown woman, she's still, my daughter, my baby.
Laura's a care assistant and she likes to spend her well-earned cash pampering herself.
You can't stop looking at me, staring at me, be what I be.
I like to feel nice when I bike, you know what I mean? Your makeup, your hair, nice clothes, it means a lot to me, really.
And her favourite treat is a manicure. So every few weeks, Laura's nails undergo a radical makeover.
I've had them painted, I've had them manicured, a lot of the time I've had it acrylics with the white tips on the end.
9 months ago, Laura wanted to transform her short nails into long talons, so she went to her local nail bar, American Nail Fashion on the High Street in Midsummer Norton for a full set of acrylics.
Because I've never had a problem in there before, so obviously I didn't mind who done my nails, whatever. I went on in, and I looked at the boy, and the first thing I thought is, oh my God, you're young. But obviously I thought he must be trained to be able to work in there. Asked me what I wanted, either plain or white manicure. So I had the white ones, he stuck them on.
Soon enough, Laura had her full set of falsies, but a few days later, an acrylic nail snapped, so she went back to the salon and demanded a replacement.
He stuck a tip on, and he filed them down with, like, the sander. He was just sanding it down so far that it was like a burning sensation. It made me flinch, like, when you get a pain, it made you sort of pull back, kept edging away, but he still carried on doing it. I said to him, ow, because it hurted, and he obviously was sort of like, didn't understand me. I was like, that hurts.
Over the next few days, the pain got worse. Laura went back to the salon again, this time to get her acrylics taken off.
It was agony. It was just so painful. The pain was making me feel sick. I thought, this ain't right.
And over the next 10 days, Laura's finger started to swell.
From the doctor, he's got an emergency appointment. Doctor literally went A&E.
15 days after Laura's trip to the nail bar, she was admitted to hospital.
Put me on a drip, put me on tramadol, which is like highest painkillers.
The smell was like a rotten old piece of meat. I mean, that's the only word I can use to describe it.
It was like a gulp on the end of it. I was just so scared. I was thinking, oh my God.
Getting a full set of nails is all the rage. Made from acrylic, gel, fiberglass or even silk. Put on correctly, they'll transform the stumpiest of nails for up to 3 weeks at a time. But beware, long-term use can damage and weaken the nails you were born with. It's 9 months since Laura Penny's visit to her nail bar and her finger is still not back to normal. She's come to London to visit me. If this happened to me after asking for a set of acrylics, I would be horrified. This cost Laura 2 months off work, and the pain isn't only financial, she still doesn't have all the feeling back in her finger. Hello. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you.
So Laura, when did you notice that something was definitely wrong?
When he went over the nails with the sander, he obviously burnt that and filed that nail right down. So then he put the acrylic on top of that.
Did you actually let him know that the nail was hurting?
I told him it hurt, and the thing what he did, I was like, ow, pulling away, but he pulled my finger back, so to carry on doing it.
So he just kept grabbing your hand and pulling you back again?
Yeah. The next day, when I was at work, I felt a real bad pain go up from my finger, and it was that painful it made me physically sick.
So what did it look like, your finger? Describe it to me.
It was like really pink and sore, and it looked like it had loads of pus in it. When I went to the hospital, she cut it all open with a scalpel, and nothing was coming out, just bar blood. She wrapped it all up, told me to go back on the Monday. So I went back on the Monday, and she told me that she wasn't happy with the result of what happened, so she kept me in. And then it went black about a week later, 2 weeks later, and that's when it started to heal, and like a lot of scabs come off of it. It's just all dead skin that was on the end of it. It was black and green and purple and scabby and horrible.
All the colours of the rainbow.
Yeah.
And how does your finger feel now?
Basically, it's the very, very tip of my finger I can't feel, and my actual nail. My nail bed's obviously
If I was to
dead.
touch it now, can you feel that?
No, it's just so...
You can't feel that?
No.
So when you left the nail bar, did you ever imagine that a few weeks later you'd be in hospital?
No, because obviously it's a beauty thing, innit? You go out to look good, you know what I mean? You go out and you go on a night out to look nice with your nails done, and you end up in hospital through beauty.
I really feel sorry for Laura because I myself love getting manicures, and I can't imagine walking around for 2 months with such an unattractive, infected finger, and it's definitely made me rethink where I go in the future to get my own nails done. So I want to get to the bottom of this and find out what's gone wrong. But it's not just cheap and simple salon treatments that have got my attention this week. We spend billions of pounds of our hard-earned cash on spa treatments. Now you might think that paying top price will give you top service, but you'd be wrong.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married.
26-year-old Essex engineer Neil Thompson and Chloe Booth tied the knot earlier this year.
We was getting married a couple of months after Christmas, and I thought it would be nice to chill out before the wedding.
So with weeks to go before the big day, Chloe spotted just the thing, a new luxury spa opening nearby.
I looked on the website and said to Neil, look, it looks really nice.
She sent me a link and I had a little look. It was just some pictures of people doing some treatments.
They had a romantic package getaway, and I thought, let's go away together and enjoy some time and be pampered before the wedding.
So, eager to please his future missus, Spa Virgin Neil booked the couple's package. For his first treatment, he plumped for the age-old hot stone massage.
She prepares the hot stones and what have you, and laid them on the bench and asked me to lay on top of them, on my back.
I've had a hot stones massage before, and I've never laid on the stones before.
Then I started to feel a little discomfort from the stones on my back, but never been to a spa before. I kind of thought that, oh, if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, it might feel a bit nicer later.
But unfortunately for Neil, his treatment was about to get worse.
And I must have laid on these stones for about half an hour, thinking, oh, this is not that comfortable. But being a bit of a man about it, I'm not going to complain.
Neil thinks he's spent a full 30 uncomfortable minutes lying on the stones, getting hotter and hotter.
I got up and I thought, oh, that stings a bit, and I sort of gone like that and felt my back and felt like a big blister.
In fact, Neil had been badly burnt.
It was just chaos. Didn't have a first aid room, so they took me into this changing room, wearing like my pants in front of all these people. It was quite embarrassing.
I was quite shocked that it'd been allowed to happen. So it ruined the experience. It wasn't a romantic getaway.
If you've never done anything like that before and you don't feel comfortable, say something, because it could leave you permanently scarred.
Yeah.
Hot stone massage dates back 3,000 years to China, but it was a hot favourite in ancient Egypt and Native America. Most stones are made from volcanic rock, able to reach 1,000 degrees. They're used because they hold the heat. These hot rocks are placed on the skin to warm and soothe the area, making for a more meditative state and a deeply relaxing massage. But Spa Virgin Neil Thompson's hot stone massage was so hot, he ended up with blisters. So I want to find out how Neil is now and what I can do to help. I want to find out more about the treatment Neil received to work out what went wrong. I'm Jess.
Hi.
I'd like to see what these blisters look like. Have you got any pictures?
I do have some pictures.
No.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't think they were going to be this bad.
They were very sore to the touch, and it's on my back. I couldn't sleep properly or anything.
And they became infected afterwards,
Yes,
didn't they?
it wasn't healing at all, and had lots of gunk in it.
So what did they use to heat up the stones?
They used this thing that looked like a hot plate in a restaurant.
And there was no, like, temperature guard or anything?
It doesn't look like there was any controls on there at all. She was handling them with a towel, so she wouldn't have had any idea of how hot they were anyway. Must have got about 15 minutes in, and I was feeling a bit uncomfortable. So I was thinking, I've not done this before, and it's just supposed to feel like that, you know. It's one of these things that feel uncomfortable now, and then it feels great later. So I was being a bit brave and just sticking with it. It did get to a point where I did ask the therapist that it was getting a bit hot, could we put some more towels on there, which she did. I'm still in pain, and she carried on to massage my back for half an hour, and then she leaves the room. So I reach around and feel that I have a big blister on my back.
What was going through your mind straight away?
I thought, I've been burnt, and I've been burnt really badly. I mean, this is a big blister.
Did you go and see your doctor?
His reaction to the burn, he said, that's a really bad burn. He said that it's infected and gave me a course of antibiotics.
How's your back now?
It still has a scar there, still has a mark.
Oh, you still do have a big scar there, don't you? I can see that, yeah. That's a pretty bad scar. To say you shouldn't have any scar at all.
No.
Neil, thank you ever so much for talking to me. You've told
Thank
me
you.
everything I need to know, and I'm going to look into it for you.
Thank you.
Nail bar victim Laura Penny thinks her finger was damaged by a nail drill. Now, nail drills are increasingly common tools in nail salons. You see them everywhere. But exactly how safe are they? I want some expert advice. So I'm meeting nail specialist Lally Quayle. She's been in the business for 15 years and has built a star-studded client list. Hello. So we're here today to talk about nail drills.
Okay,
aren't we?
brilliant, yes.
Should we go?
Yeah, let's go.
Excellent. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, these ones here. Where do they come from and what do they do?
They come from the craft industry, and originally they were used on wood and metal. Now they have been adapted to be used in the nail industry, and they should be used to file down and reduce the length of acrylic nails.
Do people actually use these on natural nails?
People do, and they really shouldn't. I educate people in the first bit of my courses. Do not use it on the natural nail. It's an absolute no-no. Imagine this piece of metal rotating quickly on your natural nail, straight through the 100 layers of nail in no time flat. And also it can pierce the seals, either end of your nails, and allow bacterial, fungal spores, viruses to go into your bloodstream and cause all sorts of reactions, even leading, in extreme cases, to amputation.
Oh my God! I want to see the nail drill in action, but I'm not about to offer up my little piggies. Instead, I've got the closest thing to human flesh, a joint of pork.
Look how that's shaving through the skin. I mean, if this was a living creature, we would be in a bloodbath now. And that allows all the infections to go straight through to the body. That's the point of skin, to protect us. And you pierce the skin and you're open playground for everything. Now, bearing in mind, this is a thick piece of skin. The skin on your fingers would be much more delicate than this.
Those pork scratchings could put me off nail drills for life. I want to have a go myself, this time on an acrylic nail.
If you turn the electric file round and reduce the length of my nail...
Like this?
Yeah.
So what, just that way?
That way. You can see how it goes through,
It goes
can't you?
really, really quick.
Keep it moving.
So people actually use the... Oh God, I just slipped.
I know, and I can feel the heat.
So people actually use these on natural nails?
Yes, they do.
Why?
Because they just can't be bothered to do it properly, and they just want you in and out of the salon as quick as possible.
So obviously these are very powerful drills. Do you need training before you use them?
You definitely should have training, but whether people get it is another matter. And strangely enough, in some areas, you don't have to take any courses before you offer nail treatments.
What should you be looking out for?
The moment you walk through the door, look on the tables. Do they have sterilising solution? Are they using sanitize on your hands? Is there a bathroom with running water? And are they doing a client card? If they're not adhering to those simple rules, they're not doing it properly. And you shouldn't sit down and let them anywhere near you with an electric file.
Thank you very much. So, nail drills can be useful, but they're also extremely powerful and potentially dangerous machines. Now, we don't know if Laura's nail technician had training in how to use the machines properly. But if what she's saying is true, then it's not surprising that Laura's acrylic nail treat ended up in disaster. 9 months on from the acrylic nail job, and Laura says her finger's never normal.
You'd think, oh, it's only a finger, you know, it don't matter. But in fact, it actually does. You're naturally going to go like this. But whether I'm here, I've got to hold the bottle and go like this. Rather than go in like this to open your can and pulling it, I've got to go like that. I want to know what it is. I want to know why I ain't got no feeling in my finger. This is how I wrote before, and this is how I write now.
So, will Laura's handwriting ever return to form? To find out the long-term effects, I've sent her to meet London-based hand surgeon Matt James.
Can you tell me what happened to your nail?
They sanded my nail down so far that I could feel it burning.
Right.
Then they put the acrylic nail on top, on the end.
And was it painful when the glue went onto the nail?
Oh yeah, it was awful painful.
So at that point, when the glue went on, it was painful. That's obviously a sign that the nail's been breached in some way, or the fold around has been painful.
Matt wants to see Laura's photo evidence in order to make his assessment. Laura took this photo on her mobile 2 days after her fake nails were removed.
So you've got shiny, hot red skin. It must have been very, very painful at this point. You can see that there's
cut it all open,
pus forming around the nail fold. And this is probably the area that you were talking about where you got the pain where the nail was breached and the infection got into the nail. I can see that the skin is already breaking down there.
Laura took this photo on her mobile 3 weeks later, once she'd been discharged from hospital.
So what we can see on here is that the nail is probably going to come off at this point. It's got black blood underneath it. Some of the skin looks like it's dead, big thick scab around the end of the finger.
Yeah, well, she'll just come off all in one.
And then normally, providing there hasn't been too much death of the actual tissue, the nail will regenerate okay. And I can see yours is actually okay. It's got a slight ridge in it where I think the nail was filed down. But I think what happens is when with your finger very, very swollen.
Yeah, it's very sore, yeah.
That throbbing pain and sensation can then actually lead to, once things have healed, numbness and sensitivity in the fingertip.
I've got no feeling there whatsoever, it's numb.
So it's completely numb, the fingertip. This is fairly common after a significant injury to the finger or an infection. So I guess the big question is, are you going to get the sensation back to your fingertip?
Yeah.
About 1 in 3 patients have ongoing pain and cold intolerance. But hopefully after 2 winters, that pain, cold intolerance will settle down.
Right.
And I can, advise you to just massage and use that fingertip as much as you can so that it reduces the risk of it developing this cold intolerance.
All right, thank you very much.
Fingers crossed that Laura will make a full recovery. But Matt James agrees that nail drills are bad news in the wrong hands.
This thing really shouldn't happen, but unfortunately there are some unscrupulous practices out there that this may be happening without training.
And Laura's scars aren't just physical. She's been left with a fear of ever treating herself to a manicure again.
I shan't be getting my nails done again. This photo may have all beauty things, really.
I'm back on blistered bridegroom Neil's case. 10 months ago, his prenuptial treat of a hot stone massage gave his romantic mini-break the wrong sort of sizzle factor. Two-step. Before I go to Neil's spa and try and get some answers, I want to find out more about this treatment and find out what went wrong. So I've booked an appointment with one of the country's top hot stone massage experts, and she's going to tell me exactly how it should be done. Debbie Thomas has over a decade of experience in bodywork therapies and specialises in hot stone treatments. She practices at a top London health club, so I'm meeting her there to get her expert opinion. I've come armed with the photographic evidence from Neil's encounter with those hot rocks.
Wow. That's terrible.
And he's still scarred now. Neil alleged that his therapist actually held the stones in a towel.
Picking the stones up with a towel is clearly because you can't pick them up because they're too hot. We only take the temperature up to the maximum 60 degrees, and that really is the maximum. We generally work anything between 50 and 55 degrees. What method did they use to heat the stones?
Neil said that they used a hot plate and it looked more like something you'd find in an Indian restaurant rather than something you get in a luxury spa. Do you think that has something to do with the fact that he was burned?
Absolutely, definitely.
In fact, I've got a hot plate with me. We got it at a homeware store and it's similar to the one Neil saw used at the spa. I mean, it just looks wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's only an on-off switch. There's no temperature gauge at all. So there would be no way of knowing how hot the stones have got. If the unit's going to 100 degrees, the stones are going to reach those temperatures. Boiling water obviously boils at 100 degrees, and it would be like pouring boiling water over somebody's back.
Oh, that's awful.
The basalt stones are volcanic, so they will keep heating up, probably up to 700 to 1,000 degrees, before they'll actually start to melt. Because they are literally from a volcanic substance.
I want to see how hot this hot plate gets.
Already the wax, it's just coming off of that.
Wow.
And it's been sitting on there for literally 2 or 3
seconds.
seconds.
You can see it moving down.
Yeah.
So if you ever go to get a hot stone massage and you see one of these, what would your advice be for the person?
Absolutely no.
So what are the correct ways to heating up these stones?
Well, I would definitely use a digital thermostatic controlled unit.
Debbie uses a water bath to heat her stones, and crucially, it's controlled by a thermostat. How many stones you got in here?
We normally use up to about 70 stones in a treatment.
Wow.
But this is the digital temperature gauge. The maximum it ever goes to is 60 degrees. You see, it won't go any further than that. But we generally would use around about the 54, 55 mark. It's going to be safe for the therapist to put their hands in, get the stones out, and then obviously apply them to the client.
Debbie's convinced me. I think it's time I gave hot stones a go.
OK, so we've got some hot stones here. These have been heated up to temperatures of about 54, 55 degrees.
Oh, oh, that's lovely. My experience couldn't be more different to Neil's.
I love the warmth of the stones.
She can easily hold the stones in her hands. No gloves or towels needed here.
See, we use our stones as tools in the treatment, as opposed to just putting them onto the body and leaving them.
You know what it feels? It feels really cosy. And I'm won over. I could get used to this. Well, if I hadn't met Debbie after meeting Neil, I would have never known how wonderfully relaxing a hot stone massage can be. But you always must remember to check the training of your therapist and who trained them. You don't want to book a wonderfully relaxing, holistic experience and end up with a burnt back like Neil. Right now, it's time to get some answers. So I'm writing to the businesses that treated Neil and Laura. I'd like to meet them face to face to get their side of the story. Laura wanted a set of shiny acrylic nails, and what she ended up with was an infection and long-term damage that she thinks was caused by a bad nail job. Neil wanted a spot of romantic R&R with his wife-to-be, but instead ended up alone in his room with blisters. I want to talk to the people responsible in both of these cases, so let's find out if they want to talk to me. Laura Penny's nail bar nightmare has left her with a self-confessed fear of salons. So whilst time may prove to be the best healer for her ongoing finger problem, I want to help her overcome her wariness of salons right now.
Hello, Laura.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright. Hello.
How are you doing? Well, do you know what? That looks a lot better. It's looking like it's healing very well.
Yeah.
So today, Laura, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. I've arranged somebody very special to make your nails look beautiful again. But don't worry, I'm not talking about your fingernails. I'm not going to be touching those today. I'm talking about your toenails.
Oh, lovely.
Go on then. How exciting.
I've brought Laura to meet Sophie Robson. She's behind high fashion nail art for the likes of Tom Ford, Vivienne Westwood and Marc Jacobs. Who better to get Laura back on track with a spot of nail indulgence?
Sophie's done the nails for the likes of Gwen Stefani, Kylie, Kate Moss, Ellie Goulding, you name them, she's done them. And today, she's going to be doing your nails. Like them too.
Okay, so we're going to start with sanitising your leg to get rid of all any germs or bacteria that might have been picked up along the way.
Oh, it's lush.
It's what?
Lush.
I'm going to remove your old polish.
So Sophie,
Yes,
I've had a drill used on me quite a few times. What are your opinions on drills? Because I've noticed that you're not using any.
I've just never really needed to use one. I'm not convinced that you can use one safely and effectively without causing damage to the natural nail. Okay, so we're ready to start painting your toenails now.
Oh.
Oh.
I've done like 3 colours, and now I'm doing the pattern over the top.
I want to see something different, like what no one else has got. It's different, isn't it?
Well, you've got that.
Right, I think we're ready to show you your new toes, Laura.
You ready, Laura? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I like them. Oh, they're perfect colours too, aren't they?
They're your favourite colours, aren't they, that you picked?
Yeah. Oh, I like these. Thank you very much.
All I want to know is, after today, have I a little bit made you feel like you could at least go into a salon and get your nails done again?
I'd have them painted, but never would I have acrylic done, no matter what way it was done.
You get a little mani and a little pedi.
Yeah.
Good.
That's the one.
Good. We've gotten there eventually. Well, Laura's toenails look fabulous, and I definitely think we've restored her faith in the beauty industry.
Laura decided to take legal action against the nail salon that carried out her acrylic nails. When we contacted American Nail Fashion and Midsummer Norton, they said they were keen to defend their position but had received legal advice not to appear on camera or comment whilst the case is ongoing. And I've also heard back from the spa where Neil received his hot stone treatment.